shit on the myself. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real weapons be real to sell. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. That's all you got to say.
Being wealthy. Like Kanye West said, having money is not everything. Not having it is. No, dude already create 18 since God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's wrong. You don't like money so much, why you get up and go to work? Yes, I do get the love of money. Everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr. Cortez.
Good morning. Welcome to Talking Money in the Morning live to my man Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my absolute best to bring practical, yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all over this great nation of ours. I truly count it an honor, privilege, and most of all, a blessing to present to you guys each and every morning. I thank you guys for tuning in. I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of the same folks coming back day after day after day. You guys don't know how much that actually means to me, that you believe that I'm going to give you value every day and that you show up. So I appreciate that. But do me this huge favor. If you're checking us out on YouTube, then I want you to grab the link, share it on your favorite social media platform, whether that is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Reddit, Dig It, wherever you share links at, just share this link, man, because I believe that we're going to be able to bless people with this information this morning. Excuse me. And then do me the same favor. If you're checking us out on Facebook, then go ahead and take the stream and share it on your wall. But then if you know people who are having some specific issues with setting goals, then just go ahead and invite them people specifically to watch the stream. And I'm going to give you my take on the importance of setting SMART goals and how to set your 2017 up for the success that you want. Excuse me this morning, guys. So without further ado, let's get into it, man. Just so you know, in case you stumbled on this show on accident, I'd like to let you know exactly who this show is for. This show is for my risers and grinders this morning. If you woke up this morning with legacy on your brain, this show is for you. If you woke up this morning thinking to yourself, man, I got to get up, get out and get something today, this is your show, my friend. If you are the type of person that is like me and you're saying, I'm going to make sure that I take action steps every day so that I can make sure that my great-great-grandchildren are proud to bear my name, this is your show, my friend. If you're the type of person who say, you know what, I got two choices. I can leave a mark on this world or I can leave a stain, and you've decided to leave a mark, then I want to help you leave your mark as big and as grand as possible. This is your show. If you, my friend, have the desire to build wealth, you have the discipline to build wealth, but maybe you lack a mentor, coach, game plan. Maybe you need some strategies in your life. Maybe you need to be around a group of people who are actually doing what you're say you want to do. Well, guess what? This is your show, my friend. On the other hand, who is the show not for, guys? If you are that type of person who's sitting back waiting on Donald Trump to fix the economy instead of focusing on your economy, this is not your show. All right. If you are the type of person that thinks capitalism is evil, money is a dirty word, this ain't your show, man. What you have to understand about the perspective that you have on money determines whether you're going to repel money away from you or attract it to you. And guess what? The people who listen to this show are people who attract money, success, prosperity, happiness into their life. So if that's not what you want, this ain't your show, man. Right? But let's be clear about something. I have no problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. If you've come to the place where you've reached all your goals and you hit all your strides and you're comfortable where you are, good for you. That's just not me. I have a problem with you when you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy. For some strange reason, and I can't figure this out, why does my aspirations rub you the wrong way? Why is it a problem for you? Because I'm not content and satisfied with where I am financially. And like I tell you each and every morning, guys, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, I want you to take a screenshot because you're looking at one right now. Then I want you to hold me accountable and watch me work over the next 5 to 10 years, man. I'm telling you, you're going to be in for a show. And whether you root against me or root for me, it makes me know, never mind. But here's my advice to you. If you get a chance to get in a wake of someone who's ascending to be a billionaire, chances are you can stand to become a millionaire, a decamillionaire, a mega millionaire, and maybe even a billionaire yourself, because there's not a billionaire on this planet that has not gotten there without helping others become billionaires, helping others become mega millionaires, decamillionaires, millionaires, six-figure households. Think about Zuckerberg. How many billionaires have Zuckerberg left in his wake? Think about Oprah. How many mega millionaires have Oprah left in her wake? Think about Mark Cuban and Donald Trump, Bill Gates. How many other billionaires, mega millionaires, decamillionaires have they left their wake? That could be you, my friend, if you get off the fence and get in the game and run with me instead of cheering from the sideline. Today's show is brought to you by Cash Flow Manager. Guys, I know a lot of you guys are in businesses of your own. That's part of the reason that you tune in. Well, the Cash Flow Manager is a tool that helps you take care of your record keeping on the fly. You can literally enter your expenses. You can literally do expense reports. You can literally do profit and loss statements, all of that right inside this one little tool, and it's right inside your smartphone. And you, my friend, can take pictures of your receipt and have your record keeping done for you on the fly. At the end of the year, when it comes time to get your taxes done, all you have to do is print out a spreadsheet already categorized. Everything is right in place for you. That's the Cash Flow Manager. If you need a tool like that in your life, it is less than $11 a month, $10.95 per month. I can shoot you the link. Just inbox me and say, hey, I want to know more about that Cash Flow Manager. You can take a 7-day trial, play around with it, see what's going on the inside. And then if you like it, then you can keep it. So Cash Flow Manager is a sponsor of today's show. That is the application that I use to run my mini businesses, to keep all my record keepers straight and also separate from each other, right? It's like that when you're a sole proprietor of multiple businesses, right? So let's get on to today's show, man. We're talking about setting SMART goals for 2017 and beyond. Guys, if you are not setting goals for your business, and even in your personal life, but you know, you guys are here because you want businesses, that you want wealth principles and strategies. So if you're not setting goals for yourself, then you're not, my friend, putting yourself in the best position to win. Now, can you have success without setting SMART goals? Yes. Ask me how I know, because I have a little bit of success, and I'm really just starting to understand the power of setting SMART goals. So let's first talk about what SMART goals are. SMART is an acronym. Can't remember who came up with this and who implemented it originally, but SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, or some people say assignable, realistic, and time-based goals. And we're going to go over each one of those just a little bit in detail. They're pretty self-explanatory, but I'm giving you my thoughts, my take on them. But specific, guys, when I sit down with people and they're talking about and I'm helping them with their personal financial success, and they're talking about what they want to do, where they want to go financially, and they have these broad goals, these I mean, they can't even really call them goals. They're talking about, hey man, I just want to be rich. It's like, okay, you want to be rich. Now break that down for me. What does rich look like for you? Man, just a lot of money. Okay. When you say a lot of money and I say a lot of money, that might be two different things. What is a lot of money, right? So your goals have to be specific, right? They have to be specific. So if they're not specific, then I want you to search your soul, search your heart, do a deep dive internally and say, okay, what specifically am I trying to get accomplished, right? What specifically am I trying to get accomplished? So they should be very specific so that you can do the rest of the steps. Number two, they have to be measurable, right? My mentor, Brian Bean, says all the time, man, you can't measure what you don't track. And that's something that I'm getting better at, is tracking my production so I can measure it. Then I can apply SMART goals to my production so that I can be more productive, more efficient in my my pursuits of my dreams and goals, right? So they have to be measurable. That means if they're not measurable, how do you know you're on track to meet them, right? If they're not measurable, how do you know you're on track to meet them if you can't measure them to see where you are, or if you're falling short, or if you're on target, right? Then they have to be attainable. Guys, you got to set your goals realistic, man. They got to be realistic. Now, I know what some of you guys are saying. Some of you guys are saying, well, H. Cortez, you said you're going to be a billionaire in 5 to 10 years. That's not realistic. All right. You may be a little bit right about that if you didn't know the many things that I know about how to make money and how to make large sums of money really rapidly. So yesterday I did a show, I did a live stream on not letting other people impose their limitations on you. Don't let other people impose your limitations on you. And one of the reasons you can't do that is because when people put their limitations on you, they are saying that they can't see how you can do something, or they can't see how something can be done. Well, you can't see how it can be done because the mission wasn't given to you. So it's not for you to see how it can be done. It was given to me. I can see how it can be done. But back to setting SMART goals, you do want your goal to be realistic, right? A realistic goal. I wouldn't sit here and say that I want to make $1 million a day if I didn't have a vehicle that was capable of helping me make some sort of transaction where I would be able to acquire $1 million in one day. Right. So that wouldn't be attainable. But my first goal, financial goal, is to become a $1 million per year household. Now, $3,000 to be specific, $2,739.72 every day in profit will make you a millionaire. Right. You'll make $1 million within a year. Now, I can't say that'll make you a millionaire. You'll make $1 million in 1 year. The difference is if you're spending all of that money every day, then at the end of the year, you're going to still be broke, right? So you'll make $1 million in 1 day. In 1 year, right? So some people might be saying, well, I don't have a vehicle to make $3,000 in 1 day. So if you don't have a vehicle to make $3,000 in 1 day, then for you to want to be $1 million a year household may not be a realistic goal. I have several vehicles that I'm using right now that can help me make $3,000 every single day in profit. So your goals have to be realistic. And then last but not least, they have to be time-based. Right? What is a time-based goal, guys? That's the difference to me between a wish and a goal. It's the difference to me between a fantasy and a plan, right? It has to be time-based. What does that mean? All that simply means is if your goal, if you have a goal to make X amount of dollars, then in what time frame do you want to make that extra amount of dollars? Right. So if I want to make $1 million in a year, then I know that, okay, $1 million in a year, that's about almost $85,000 per month. $85,000 a month breaks down to about $23,000 per week. $23,000 per week breaks down to about $27.39 per day. That's why the time comes in, because when you add the time factor, now you can put a game plan in place. So if I say, for instance, my goal is to get 1,000 people involved in my personal financial success program by June of 2017. For me, that's 6 months, 7 months away. So for me, that means that I literally have to get I'm at a little over 200 now, so I have to get 800 people involved in 6 or 7 months. That breaks down to about 135 people per month, right? If I want to break that down a little further, that breaks down to about 33 people per week, right? If I break down that a little further, that means 5 people per day. And then that says, you know what? What kind of activity does it take for me to get one person involved in my personal financial success membership, right? And I know the numbers that it takes to get one person involved. Now I have to multiply that by 5 because I need 5 people involved every day in order to hit that 35 per week, in order to hit that 130, 140 per month, in order to land me where I need to be in 6 or 7 months. That's why the time part is so important, because the time part allows you to put together the game plan. Most of you guys don't have a game plan to hit your goals because you haven't set a date on them. Set a date on them. For instance, some of you guys want to retire from your job because of your home-based business, because of your other endeavors. You're saying, you know what? I want this to be what I do full-time to make a living, to feed my family, right? But if you haven't set a retirement date, then you probably don't have the right plan to get you to what you need to do to execute upon that wish right now, because I call it a wish if you don't have any time stamp on it, right? If I say I want to make $1 million a year, and I don't have a date as to when I'm going to start making $1 million a year, then that's just a wish. That's just a fantasy, right? Because that can go on in perpetuity. I mean, for just forever. I mean, going perpetually, forever, right? Every year, I'm just saying, man, I'm gonna make $1 million a year. Every year, I'm gonna make $1 million a year. Every year, I'm gonna make $1 million a year. But there's no hard date on that, so that I can go backwards from that date and say, this is the point where I want to start making $3,000 a day. So by this point, I need to have all of this stuff in place, and that's going to put me where I'm making $3,000 a day, and I'm going to be able to do that every day for 365 days straight, and that's going to give me $1 million profit in 1 year. But we set goals and we have aspirations, but we don't set a date on them. So if you want to retire from your job, then I want you to write your resignation letter today. Date it for the day you want to walk out of there. And then you plan backwards from that day what you need to do to put you in the position to do that. How many of you guys got a resignation letter already written with a date on it? If you want to leave your job. Not everybody wants to leave their job. I saw my job as a corporate plantation. So I was like, man, I got to get out of here, buy my time back so I can start really pursuing my passions, because I know that my passions will lead to my purpose. How many of you guys out there have a resignation already typed up, ready to go with a date on it? Right? So I have to ask you, do you really want to retire early, right? You know, I didn't want to be retiring at 65. I wanted to retire early while I'm still young and still have some life left in these old legs of mine, right? Yvette says me. Good deal. I mean, those are some of the things that you have to do when it comes to setting SMART goals. And if you don't have SMART goals, chances are you don't have a SMART plan. Right? If you don't have SMART goals, chances are you don't have a SMART plan. Sandra says she already retired. Okay, so what is the next step for you, Sandra? What else do you want to accomplish? Have you written that out, and have you put a date on that? Because then that's how you backtrack and set your plan to accomplish the dreams and goals for that next step, that next level. But definitely, congratulations to you for retiring already, because that's what this thing is about to me. It's about figuring out a way that I can buy my time back. How do you buy your time back so that you can do the things that you really want to do versus doing the things that you're forced to do? And you guys know that financial circumstances, real estate. Okay, good, good. So you should have a goal. You should have your goals and saying, hey, you know what? In real estate, here's what I want to do. Here's how many properties I want to acquire. Or if you're in real estate sales, here's how many properties I want to sell each and every month. Here's how many properties I want to sell over my career. Here's how many properties I want to sell this year, next year, all that kind of stuff. SMART, attainable goals. When you have a goal and it has a date on it, now you can trace back to the activities that you need to be doing to hit that target on that date. Give me another example, man. I talked about that cash flow manager system that I use to track my business expenses, but it's also a needs analysis tool. I can use that tool and get a game plan together for me. So when I first used that tool, it asked me all of these questions about my personal and my financial life, my goals, what I want to do, and all of that. And I said, you know what? I want $10,000 a month by 20. I think I might have said 2039 or something, $10,000 a month income by 2039, 2036, or whatever that was. And then, it crunched the numbers and said, okay, so you want to get out of debt. You want to have an investment portfolio that spits back $10,000 per month. By the time, on that specific date, here's what your income looks like. Here's what your current investment situation is. Here's what your debts are. Here's what your expenses are. All of these things it crunched for me. And then it said, okay, in order to hit that goal, then you're going to need to be able to invest at minimum $2,700 per month at an 8% rate of return in order to hit that goal. Now, here's the deal. I had no idea what it really took to get to that number. No idea whatsoever. None. Hey, Tanya, I had no idea, because when sometimes we have these aspirations, we have never really sat down to think about what it actually takes to get us there, right? I just said, you know what, $10,000 a month will set my family straight. It's taking me about $4,000 a month to live my lifestyle now. So by the time that comes, inflation will kick in, it would double. So I'll need at least $8,000, and they give me an extra $2,000 to spare, right? That's where my mindset was, but I had no idea what it would take to get me there. So this handy tool told me that, hey, $2,700 a month, invest at an 8% rate of return, it's going to get you there. That's why I came up with a goal to get 1,000 people involved in my program by June of 2016, because of that goal, because of what I'm trying to do, because that thing has a date on it. So if you don't have a date on your goals, it's hard to game plan so that you can do the right activities each and every day to hit those goals, right? So some of you guys are involved in your own home-based business. Some of you guys are involved in a job, and you got career aspirations, and you're thinking about, okay, in the next 2 to 5 years, I want to be manager. I want to be an executive. I want to be, vice president or whatever. Do you have a date on when you want to accomplish those things? It's when you put a date on those things, then you can track your plan back so you can get your daily activities up to where they need to be to get you to those goals. And guys, I'm going to tell you honestly, I neglected this in my business for a long time. A lot of people tend to do because they don't believe in or don't think there's anything to it. But when I started studying billionaires and mega millionaires, it started to become clear to me, because there's a saying out there that says success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. And a lot of the millionaires and the billionaires that I started to study said, you know what, my life didn't turn around until I started setting clear goals. And you hear 3 or 4 mega millionaires and billionaires say that, then it starts to click on you. Okay. If their life didn't turn around until they start setting clear goals, and I want to be like them and I don't have clear goals, And once their life turned around, it turned around so freaking well that they became mega millionaires. And I want to be like them. I better take this goal setting thing seriously. And I advise you guys to do the same thing, man. Take your goal setting thing seriously. And I want you to set goals based on what it is that you really want to do and what it is that you really want to accomplish. Sometimes we, especially with me, because I'm an affiliate marketer, I'm a network marketer. So sometimes we set goals based on what the company say our goals should be. We set goals based on what our team leaders say our goals should be. That's not how you set a goal. You dig deep down inside and say, you know what do I want to get out of this partnership? I know what the compensation plan says I can make. I know what my mentor or my coach or my leader says the kind of activity to do in order to hit this level. But what is it that I'm really trying to get out of this thing? Right? If it's on your job, what is it that I'm really trying to get out of this job? If it's with your finances, where do I really want to go in my finances? Do I want to continue to toil in debt? Do I want to continue to barely get by? Or do I want to make some big things happen? What is it that you're trying to do? Right? You have to really assess and really go. This is an inside job, right? This is an inside job. A lot of times we make goal setting an external thing. We're setting goals similar to other people because, you know, if they want to have $5,000 a month, then hell, I want $5,000 a month. But do you really? Right? Do you really? So take the time out to do some internal inventory of what it is that you really want, where it is that you really want to go in your life, and then set some goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. And once you set those goals out, now you say, okay, these are my goals. This is my time frame that I want to hit these goals. Now I can go back to looking at my daily activity. Okay, how much activity do I need to be doing each and every day in what areas in order to hit this goal? Right? That's how you develop your plan. Now you got your plan in order. Now you say, okay, here's what I need to be doing. Let me break that out to some daily action steps. Right? So for instance, for me, I know that I need about 5 people per day in order to hit my goal by June of 2016. Now, with me, I'm in a network marketing business as one of my primary opportunities. So with me, it's not just about me, the numbers that I can get per day, but it's as a team. So as a team, we need to be adding 5 people to the team per day. But here's what I do as a leader. As a leader, I say, you know what? I can't count on what anybody else can do. I can't count on what anybody else can do. Even though I've got a couple hundred people on my team, I'm looking at my goals and my aspirations as if I'm the only person on the team. As if I'm the only person on the team. Because sometimes we get caught up in what other people are going to bring to the table, and we get so caught up in that when they fail us or when they don't bring anything to the table, now we're disappointed in them. So I'm saying my team don't need to bring in 5 people per day. I personally need to bring on 5 people per day. And the numbers that we have says I have to have 10 good conversations with new people every day in order to bring on 1 person. To get 1 person involved in my financial success membership, I have to talk to 10 people every day just to get 1. So now that I know what my numbers are, then I have to scale that up because I need 5 every day. So in order to get 5 every day, if I have to talk to 10 to get 1, then to get 5 every day, I have to talk to 50. I have to talk to 50 every day. Every day. And then so now since it's 50, I have to start saying, okay, if I have to talk to 50 every day to get the 5 that I need every day, then now I can quantify that and break that down into a measurable plan and say, okay, if I need to talk to 50 a day, then if I work 10 hours a day, then I know I need to be talking to 5 people per hour. 5 good conversations per hour, right? Or if I'm only working 5 hours in my business, then I need to be talking to 10 people per hour. So how does that work when it comes to setting goals? Okay, if I gotta talk to 10 people per hour because I only want to work 5 hours in my business, then that forces me to get my conversation game right. Because if I gotta talk to 10 people per hour, these can't be 30-minute conversations. So I have to have a game plan with how I approach the conversations. Because I can't spend too much time on each conversation because I need to have 10 conversations per hour. So that though, if you don't have measurable goals, if they're not realistic, if they're not time-based, you can't come up with a game plan that you need to be doing every single day. Because everything comes down to habits, guys. Success or failure will always come down to your habits. I love the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, because in the movie, Will Smith, when he got his internship, as he was playing Chris Gardner, he got his internship, and they had to make a certain number of phone calls every day. He got so analytical with it. He said, you know what? The reason I can make more phone calls than the other guys is because every time they finish a phone call, they hang up the phone. And every time they hang up the phone, they get sidetracked for a minute or two. Then they pick it back up and call the next person. He said, what I did, or what he did, was every time he finished a phone call, he hit the hang up button, but he never hung the phone up. So as soon as he hung up, he hit the hang up button, and then he's dialing the next number. Bam, he's right on it. So he was able to, just by that little bit, that little strategy, he was able to call 12, 15, 25 more people per day than everybody else. And guys, you've heard me talk about the extra mile on this show before. The extra mile is where you actually have room to spread your wings. You know why? Because not many are going the extra mile. See, when you're going the normal pace, the normal race, it's a little crowded because everybody is jockeying for position, right? But I don't even start counting my time until everybody else falls off, till the last person quits. Then I go one step beyond that last person. That's called going the extra mile. And I got some killer people that I'm running with, man. And sometimes we might go 50 miles before the last person quits, and then I got to do 51. That's the attitude that you got to have. Success comes down to your habits in life, right? And if you're not having the success that you want, it's probably because you have some poor habits and mix up in your daily routine. And I'm actually preaching to myself here, because I let a lot of time get away from me, because it's been almost 2 months since I retired. And I had my system down pat when I was working, because I would do 2.5 hours in my business in the morning before I went to work, and when I came home from work, I'd do 2.5 hours. Now I got my whole damn day and ain't figured out how to be efficient with all of that time. So I'm working on this, guys. So when I'm talking to you guys about these things, please understand that the words that come out of my mouth, I'm the first to hear, right? I'm talking to myself first and foremost. All right. And then if what I'm saying can help you too, that's the deal. That's the deal, man. I'm trying to help you guys as I help myself. I told you guys I subscribe to Learn, Do, Teach. Every time I learn something, I start doing it and I start teaching it, because in teaching it, it helps you get the material into your spirit a lot better. So I learn, do, teach, man. That's a good method, good strategy to really start implementing some things and change some things in your life. So you have to quantify or put a timestamp on your goals in order to backtrack from that date to today, and then you can start breaking down what your daily action steps need to be each and every day. See, I most definitely have poor habits. I have to put myself in check every day to say, folks, you do, man, you do. And that's me, especially because I have 4 businesses that I run from my home. So you know, it's easy for me to bounce back and forth instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to take a 2-hour block for this business. I've got a to-do list. These are the things that I want to accomplish in this 2 hours. I got another 2-hour block and for this business. Here's my list of the things that I need to accomplish for this business, so on and so forth. You know, I just haven't gotten to that place, and I know I need to. That's why this particular show on setting goals was big for me, so that as I'm teaching you guys, this stuff is starting to come back to my remembrance, so that I can start implementing these strategies in my life. So with that, guys, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-based goals. Let's do a 10-minute Q&A if you got questions, and then I'm going to get on to my to-do list for today. Since I'm building an advisory board for my goal to rent the dome here in St. Louis. I'm working for looking for more experienced people to add to it. If you are, or any of you are, your viewers are interested, please contact me. Yeah, Marshall has a beautiful plan that she wants to use to help homeless people. So if the homeless are on your heart, if that's part of your mission, and you feel that that's something that God has called you to help, or a need that God has called you to serve, then definitely get with Marshall on how you can help her in that program. She has a passion in her heart for helping the homeless get back on their feet. So if that's something you want to get involved in, she's got a great project going on here in St. Louis. And she's got people involved from all over the country. So I don't think that you have to be here in St. Louis to help her out with that. Q&A, anybody got questions? Write your goals down so you can see them. Great point that I failed to mention. Write your goals down, and then when you get them condensed into a daily action steps, read your daily action steps every night before you go to bed, right? So another thing wealthy people do is they create a to-do list, a game plan every night before they go to bed. And they're reading that game plan, so they're programming their mind to get up with that game plan in mind the next day, right? And then if you have problems staying focused, that's where affirmations come in, right? Daily affirmations, man, morning, noon, and night. Put 5 to 10 affirmations in your smartphone, and you read them every day. In the morning, you read them in midday for lunch. You read them before you lay down, your head down on your pillow to go to sleep. You read your affirmations. You read your to-do list for the next day. Then you go to sleep. Guess what happens while you're sleeping after you read those things? Those are the last things that go into your brain before you go to sleep. Your subconscious mind starts to categorize and organize all that stuff in your mind. And then when you wake up in the morning, you'll have a plan to attack your affirmations and your goals or your to-do list. And it'll be in a way that it's more than you just thinking about, oh, here's what I need to do. That to-do list will actually be burned into your brain. And sometimes when I do it, now I don't do this consistent enough, but when I do it, it's like, wow, I can't even move on to the next thing until I get this thing done. It's just so etched into my brain. So those are the things that you want to make sure that you're doing on a regular and consistent basis. And myself included, I've got to be more consistent with this, because I know I can be a hell of a lot more productive than I am being. So that's the deal for me. Questions. Says, I like the touching the earth that you do. You know what, man? Just touching the earth. So what Sandra is talking about is I believe in being both literally and figuratively grounded. So I put my bare feet on the ground, because I don't know if you guys realize or not that we are the original hybrid, right? We are the original hybrid, in the sense that we are electrical beings as well as bioorganisms, right? So yes, we have a beating heart, but there's electricity running through our bodies. We were never designed to be separate from the earth. So I'm sitting in my kitchen right now, right? In my kitchen, I am completely separate from the earth. completely separated from the earth. That was never the design, because there's energies that flow through the earth that's supposed to be flowing through our bodies to rejuvenate us over and over and over every day. Right? Why do you think it is that primitive cultures can live to be 80, 90, 100 years old and they don't have a hospital in their community? Right? So when you ground yourself, the earth is like the negative, the sun is like the positive, and we are the battery. We are the battery. So when you have you ever dealt with rechargeable batteries, you know that the rechargeable battery has to be plugged up to a negative and a positive in order for the cycle to recharge. Well, guess what? If we stay disconnected from the earth by putting rubber soles on our shoes, by living in artificial structures that are elevated from the earth and with no connection to the earth whatsoever, then we don't get that rejuvenation every day like we're supposed to. We were never meant to not be disconnected from the earth. We should always be connected to the earth. So I try to get me 20, 30 minutes in every day, right? And even when it's getting cold outside, I have a ground wire on the outside of my bathroom window, and I run a ground wire up through the window into my bathroom. So I can step on that ground wire and still be grounded. I put the ground wire in the shower and the tub. When I'm taking baths and showers, I step on that ground wire. Now I take grounded showers and baths so I can get that connection. See when it comes to health, the thing that breaks our bodies down is called oxidation. And oxidation breaks our bodies down because free radicals enter our bodies, and those free radicals are missing I don't know if it's an electron or a neutron, but whatever they're missing when they enter our body, they take it from us. It's a neutron. They take it from us, right? So when they take a neutron from us, it creates a free radical that already exists in us, and that keeps happening, and we continue to flood our body with these free radicals, right? But guess what happens when you put your feet on the earth? When you put your feet on the earth, you flood your body with neutrons. So now, as these free radicals are floating around in your body and they're stealing neutrons, they're not stealing neutrons from cells that are already working in your body trying to repair you. They're taking the excess neutrons that you flooded your body with because you stay connected to the earth. Right? And you can't get away from free radicals because free radicals are everywhere. So when I elevate my heart rate, when I do exercise, and I'm taking in a lot of free radicals. Right? And those are the things that age us. But guess what? If I'm flooding my body with neutrons after I exercise, then guess what? All of those free radicals are getting the neutron that they need that I have floating around in my system in excess. So I didn't mean to go in there, but you know, I am a big proponent of being healthy because all healthy people, all wealthy people, take their health seriously. So I study how to be as healthy as I can. I want to be the guy who looks just like this at 75, 80 years old. So I study things that will help me, you know, stop the aging process and all of that kind of stuff, and stuff that will keep me healthy, keep me vigorous. Because if you're going to be a billionaire, man, you're going to be running. You're going to need the energy to bounce back, to rebound, to produce off sleep, to produce off 3 and 4 hours of sleep sometime. If you go on YouTube and Google earthing, E-A-R-T-H-I-N-G, there's a wonderful documentary out there, but there's also a lot of studies, there's a lot of lectures, there's TED Talks and all of that kind of stuff on the power of earthing, or some people call it grounding. Earthing or grounding. But yeah, there's a powerful documentary on it. It's about an hour, about 90 minutes long. But then there's you can also find other lectures and things on that process and how it keeps you young, man. You know, how can a baby be born in a jungle And we would think that that baby would just come out super, super sick, because what do they tell us in the hospital system? That, hey, you can't expose your kid, your newborn baby, to all of these germs, right? And we birth our children in an environment that is sterilized. There are no germs around. That's why our children have so many freaking allergies. Because the moment they hit this earth, they should have hit the environment where they're going to spend the first 4 or 5 years of their lives, so that they can take in all of those germs, so their immune system can code properly that, hey, this isn't something that I need to react to. This is just a normal part of my environment. But you have your baby in a hospital, in a sterile environment, they're not exposed to a lot of germs. Then the minute you take that baby from the hospital, that sterile environment, and put them into your house where there are germs, now your baby is having reactions to all of these different things that are stimulating the immune system. Now your baby is treating each and every little thing like a life or death situation. And that's why they get sick. So those things that when it comes to health, man, this thing is really, really serious. And you have to really start thinking for yourself and start doing your own research on the things that really keep us healthy, right? And like I said, man, health is a part of wealth, man. I don't want to spend my life acquiring wealth so that I can later spend my wealth trying to regain my health. I want to stay healthy as I'm requiring my wealth, so now that I can enjoy my wealth with good vigor, good health. So we try to implement healthy lifestyles and throughout the whole family, because I don't want to acquire wealth and have to spend that on trying to regain my wife's health. I want us both to walk down this path of staying healthy together, so that now once we acquire our wealth, we can enjoy it, in a full body of health. And now you're in a good place. And in my opinion, that is the goal for me and my family. So yeah, I love to earth. I love to ground myself. And it's nothing to it, guys. And if you're like my wife, the more natural, the better. You're exactly right. If you're like my wife, there's bugs on the ground and all of that kind of stuff, man. If you just put a thick pair of tube socks on, you can still go outside and put your feet on the ground in your tube socks. You don't have to do your bare feet. I do bare feet, and I walk around in sandals all the time, man, even when it's chilly outside, so that I can just kick them things off, man, and I can stand on the earth for a few minutes at a time, when I'm out and about. But you can put a thick pair of tube socks if you're worried about the bugs and the worms and the critters crawling on you and all that. Put a thick pair of tube socks on, because the electrical current still runs through something like a pair of socks. Problem is we use rubber soles, and you guys know that rubber is an insulator. So when you're dealing with electricity, and you got electricity on one side, you got rubber here, and you got more electricity on the other side, the rubber is going to block the electricity because it's an insulator. It's not a conduit. So you want something that's going to be conductive. And that's why the ancient peoples, that's why the Indians and those native, they wanted to protect their feet when they were going on long journeys, so they used leather to make their shoes, right? Because leather, depending on how thick the leather is, they could still get some electrical current through the leather. Through the leather. Now, leather is an insulator, but the way that they would design their shoes, it would be so that they could still, when those shoes get wet and that when they're walking in cold climates and the snow and that kind of stuff, the leather would get wet and it would soak through. And now when that leather is wet and soaked, the water acts as a conductor and will allow the electrical currents to still flow through the leather into their bodies. But at the same time, the leather was tough enough so that they wouldn't constantly be bashing their feet on pebbles and sharp objects that will cut them and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, we just have to start going back to the way things were designed for us if we want to really, really have the life that we need. You really should. I mean, 30 minutes a day is better than nothing. But if we were designed to be connected to the earth all the time, then we should be sleeping on the earth. We should be walking on the earth. We should be living on the earth. That's just, you know, that's just the way it should be. So sorry guys, got off tangent, but SMART goals, man, get them set. If you need access to the cash flow manager, you want to take that 7-day trial, let me know. I'll get you the link to check it out. But I'm going to end the show right there. I'm your main man, H. Cortez, one and only financial health mentor to the working class. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, Free Game Friday. Come tomorrow with your questions, man. I give you what I want you to have Monday through Thursday. I want to give you what you want on Fridays. And then if you ask a question and we don't have enough time to get into it deeply, then I will put that on the schedule to do a whole show on that topic so I can take a deeper dive in it. So be prepared to come with your questions tomorrow, same time, same channel, and we will rock and roll. Until I see you then, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.